guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to The Sims 4, welcome back to the speed build. Today we're doing like the third in the series I'm calling the LA Cottages because it's on that giant lot in Del Sol Valley that like feels like it should be 2 or 3 homes, but it's like, I think it's supposed to be like a starter lot, but it's a giant, you know? So I've been putting these cottages on this lot. I've done 3 of them. Well, this will be the 3rd one. And then we'll probably do one more video in this series where I do like the landscaping and like the public spaces because I'm imagining this as a residential rental. You could also totally play this without that pack and just like lock doors. Like just like make 3 Sims in one household and lock doors. That could happen too. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and do like a gamer cottage. So what I was imagining, right, like with the pack, with the Get Famous pack that Del Sol comes in, one of the like career type thingies, one of the like money making opportunities you can do is you can become famous as a video creator. Basically, you can become famous as a YouTuber in The Sims, right? And I always find that really funny because they make it like a pretty serious career. And one of the things you need is like this big desk and all of this equipment and stuff. And so I was kind of imagining like, what if this Sim moved in and in the lower half of the build actually like made that their studio, right? Instead of it being their living space, they made that their studio and then made the upper levels where they lived, right? So the 2 lofts become the living space. So when I had like originally sort of formulated this idea, right? I was gonna do it kind of dark and moody. I was gonna do like full super masculine, like lean heavy into the gamer idea, but I'm me and I like things to be pink and pastel sometimes, and so I actually ended up kind of leaning a little bit more into like that pink gamer aesthetic, which I think is really cute. To be honest, it's not totally my vibe in real life. I'm a little bit more, I think I'm like a little bit more dark academia in real life in terms of my office, but I thought it was really fun in The Sims, and to be honest, it's not an aesthetic I do in The Sims a ton, so I thought it would be fun. So I did the kitchen very sort of modern and minimalistic to start. Like I'm still leaning into that vibe. And then it starts going very pink and very like kind of quirky pretty quickly. But I thought it was kind of an interesting idea, right? Because if you moved to the big city, right? If you moved to LA or Del Sol Valley in this case, to be a content creator, it does make sense to some degree that wherever you're living, the primary focus should be content creation. Because it's a work from home job predominantly, unless you're hired by a company or something, which is not really a thing in The Sims. So it makes sense to turn your biggest area into your studio. So I stuck with the exact same layout in this house as the other 2, and you can see me actually copying and pasting a lot because it took a lot of brain power to work the initial layout out, so I just sort of copied it over. I love the dual loft layout. In gameplay, it's a little bit funky just because like you have to play with the walls down or the roofs up, but I'm a sucker for a loft, dude, and I'm a sucker for a functional loft, and this is such a fun idea, I think, personally. I'm excited to actually put these in my personal world. I have a whole bunch of Sims already lined up. I think it's gonna be really fun. Like, I think one of my legacy kids is gonna move here. So in this particular house, this secondary loft here, the loft over the porch, becomes the sort of living space, and I do still make it super gamery. I kind of leaned into like the gaming YouTube side of thing because the Sims really sort of like encourages that, it feels like. So there's some cute bean bags, there's a little table, there's like gaming system. I can't remember what they call it in the game, but if you put it out, it'll allow you to play games on the computer. I did leave some of the bookshelves in just because I thought it was a nice built-in feature. It's just fun, and it makes the walls make a little bit more sense, and it gives you some storage. It gives the illusion of storage, at least. And down here I have 2 different workstations. I have the actual YouTube workstation, or I guess the Sims Tube or content creation station, and then I have an actual desk with a setup from the high school years pack where you can also stream. Now, I don't know how those 2 play together, but I figured it can't hurt, and you can then just like adjust how you need it, you know? Here you can see I'm jumping around a little bit, just trying to get some of the basics set up again. Each build requires just like a little bit of setup to get it working right, because it is a tinier space, and you have to kind of play with like the ladders and stuff and making it all work. But here you can see I'm starting to also like kind of figure out where I want this to go. What kind of clutter I want. What am I thinking for backdrops? How am I thinking for my design? And at first I was like, oh, the pink gamer aesthetic would be really, really fun. And then it immediately kind of went to like, is that gonna be too close to, because I have the second one, which you should go watch if you haven't, is cottagecore, and so I was like, oh, is it gonna be too pink? Like, are these 2 gonna be too similar? And I don't think they are. I do think there is a lot of pink on this lot, But I also think, like, The Sims has kind of leaned into that a little bit, so it's not, like, entirely my fault. Like, we just, at the time of recording this, we just got a Swatch update that gave us a whole bunch of pink exterior stuff. Not complaining. Let me be so clear. Not complaining. But, like, they're really leaning into the pink, so I'm like, I kind of feel like it's not a big deal to lean into the pink. And I do think the aesthetics themselves are different enough that it's not a big deal. I also think it's kind of fine because, like, if you were into the gamer aesthetic but not the pink, you could really easily swap it out. Like, all of the stuff that I put in here comes in, like, greens, comes in oranges, comes in yellows. It would be really easy to swap it out. My only beef with, like, this room in general is the actual creation station. Here, this, like, content creation station or whatever they call it. Just because it's really, like, it ties you to a very specific aesthetic if you're not careful. It's just like, it's a glass desk, but it's kind of like that weird odd angle. The legs are kind of sharp. If I had my druthers, it would have been really nice if the, like, content creation item had been just like a computer. Kind of like the research thing from Discovery University. That would have been really cool just because then you could really do, like, your YouTube setup however you want it. You know, people always do, like, their cute backdrops and stuff and stuff. That would have been kind of cool. I get why they didn't, but, like, it would have been really awesome because, like, when I'm doing all of this, I'm actually in a closet and my desk is over 100 years old. And, like, this whole setup is very, like, me, even though it's not, like, super efficient, you know? And I'm like, wouldn't it be really cool to have, like, your sim with, like, a starter setup and then, like, grow into their cool PC setup, you know? I tried to mimic that a little bit here with this shelving unit. I tried to put some, like, cute little things on it. This build was completed before the Reaper's Rewards challenge came out. So the voiceover I'm doing, I know that there's some, like, freezer bonies and that's really cool, but, like, I didn't have those at the time. If I were to redo this build, and maybe I'll sneak them in before I put it up on the gallery, because this isn't up on the gallery yet, because I still need to do all the landscaping. Maybe I'll sneak the freezer bonies in, because they would be really cool, especially the one where I'm on the second week. We just got, like, the space freezer bony. That would be really cute in here. So maybe, like, trade out the troll, not the troll. What are those called? Gnomes. Trade out the gnome for a freezer bony. But anyways, I tried to make it kind of look like, you know, she had some pieces in here that she collected, maybe some game memorabilia or something, just some fun stuff. Because, like, I have a little character up there from a game that I'm absolutely blanking on right now. It's The Fierce Dragon and the Mighty King or something like that. It's a really cute storybook game. Hopefully editing Amanda will maybe remember to put the actual title in, because it's a really adorable game. It's a Switch game. I haven't played it in just a little while, but it's really, really fun. It's like a little you're like a little kid who's been adopted by a dragon. It's adorable. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. My point is like, I look up at my desk here and I have a few different game things, some Lego things, just some, like, pretty books and a gourd lamp that I love. I think I've talked about that before because my gourd lamp died and I had to rewire it. That kind of thing. That was the vibe I was going for, right? Where it just shows off her personality, or his personality, their personality. I have a sim in my head, so I keep saying her, but, like, whoever you put in here, it's just showing off their personality. And then I tried to have fun with the wallpaper, but I will admit I struggled a little bit because I had, like, so many different color themes I wanted to do, and the wallpaper was, like, not chill with any of them. There was just, like, I couldn't even describe to you what I wanted in my head, but it wasn't it. You know, like, I couldn't find it. It was one of those moments where I was just like, am I about to bust out, CC? Because I cannot get what's in my head out on paper. I was also, like, a little bit worried, too, that it was going to turn into, like, a game cave. I did not want cave. Cave was not the goal here, because that's kind of the stereotype, right? Is like, oh, you gotta be in a dark cave with, like, your RGB lights, and, like, it's because you don't want any glare, and you're like, and that's totally fine if that's your aesthetic, right? Like, that's a really fun aesthetic, and I have several friends who have worked really hard to curate these absolutely stunning rooms that kind of fall into that, like, RGB dark, like, I'm, you know, the best at what I do here in this video game kind of aesthetic. I'm a cozy gamer. My channel is predominantly Minecraft and The Sims. And the third game on the channel is Nancy Drew. I'm a cozy gamer. I come into my room and I have lamplight, and the windows usually open, and I have snacks, and I'm in last place if I try to play anything that requires anything with fine motor skills. You put me in front of a shooter and I will work hard, and it'll be a real sad kill death ratio. It'll be pathetically sad. So I did go with the pink cabinets overall here, and I kind of went back and forth on whether that was a good idea, because I was trying to make it look like it was like maybe just the builder specials, but then I was like, you know what you see on Instagram a lot is those like rental friendly renos where they put like contact paper on the front of their cabinets. Now, I kind of do this disclaimer every time I mention that. Some of that stuff isn't actually renter friendly, and you should really check your contracts, because landlords don't like that stuff now. Because if you have to use a screwdriver to get it off, or like harsh chemicals, you can sometimes accidentally strip the cabinets and stuff like that. So some landlords now are actually saying things like, please don't do that. So it's worth double checking before you do anything like that, and it's also worth being really mindful about how you're treating this stuff. Like, be prepared. You may have to replace and repair it. So I am not necessarily condoning all of that. I think it's kind of fun if you can guarantee it's going to be fine at the end of it, or if you have permission from your landlord. And so that's what I was imagining here. Like, nobody was going to complain about her putting contact paper on her cabinets, but I always feel like I need to do that disclaimer of, please don't get in trouble or get yourself fined or lose your deposit because you think the pink cabinets are cute. I agree, pink cabinets are real cute, but please don't come to me and be like, Amanda, you said it was a rental-friendly hack. I live in a farmhouse. I don't have a landlord. So please do your research. But anyways, I thought the pink cabinets were cute. And it's still, like, these ones specifically, there's a couple swatches where it's like the white, and then just like the drawers are colored. I'm growing to love those because of the contact paper vibe, because of the, like, I'm messing with these, but in a rental-friendly way kind of vibe. I think that's really fun. Here I was messing with some more of the backsplashes. These are actually from the party kit, I think, and it's actually, if I recall, a full wall. And I fussed around with it for a while, but these weren't fitting as well. And you know what? I fussed around with it so much in, I believe it's the second one, I was over it immediately. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, in the second Cottage, which you should go watch, I did the custom backsplashes from Lovestruck, but, like, I had to fuss at them. I had to, because, like, they don't really work with windows, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not complaining, because, like, EA did exactly what the rest of us would have done. They took a painting and they turned it into a backsplash. It's perfect. It's what we ordered. No complaints. I want them to do it in every pack. I want them to give us 1,000,000 swatches. I want to go into Sims 4 Studio and make more swatches, right? I'm not complaining about that at all. But it doesn't really work with windows, which is, like, no duh, it's not a wallpaper. And I imagine the level of coating that would be necessary to make a painting, like, because you'd have to have, like, a collision event where it's like, this painting is touching this window. This specific part of it would... Like, just thinking about it, I'm like, I would not have picked that particular project off the Jira board. That's all I'm saying. I would have been like, that's a senior dev problem. Can I just say, jumping tasks here, can I just say, that swatch of that dresser is insane. I love that. I love that so much. I have a white dresser, and, like, it's not in a style that I could paint very easily, and I don't think I would. But there was a part of me when I saw that dresser that went, I want to put flowers on my dresser right now. It's so cute. I did a thing. I kind of thought about it, and kind of the same thing I've done in my real life room, because the downstairs is so work focused and very bright and very happy. I wanted the room to be very sort of serene and cozy and just have that sort of, like, we're chill, everything's calm here, which is a little bit jarring because it's a loft and you can still see the downstairs and stuff. But I think it's what I would do if I lived in this space. I'd be like, this space is calm, this space is greens, this space is chill, right? So that's kind of what I did up here, and to a lesser extent did the same thing in the other loft where I was like, this is just a chill space, we don't work up here, so this can be calm. Like, it can still be pink and adorable, but just calm, right? Went with that vibe, went with a lot softer pastels. It's very bright in the loft when the sun's coming in during certain parts of the day, in both lofts actually, so those bright colors are really nice and cozy and light, and they feel like a children's storybook, but, like, in the best way possible, if that makes sense. Like, they just give cozy, and so that's very much what I was going for up here, because again, the downstairs is very sort of like, we're in it, we're content creation, we're RGB, and you know, that kind of thing, and I like both aesthetics, and I liked the juxtaposition there of having both, because it very much sets the I'm at work, I'm at home, like, tone, which when you work from home, you really need. Can I just say too, in this build in particular, those pillows doing the Lord's work. And also that little standing, like, crepe paper lamp. I think the original one is in base game, and then there's one from City Living, I think, if I recall. That lamp, I think, got used in every single build because it is such a nice height, and the yellow swatch is such a nice, it's just like a nice lamp. It's very unassuming. It doesn't really stick out in the room, but it creates like a nice glow. Like, MVP lamp, especially in this build with, like, all of the loft spaces needing light, but not really being able to do overhead light. Now, in real life, would I do recessed lighting actually into, like, the roof itself on an angle? Yeah, I think I would personally. Because you would still need insulation in the roof, right? Like, it's not just like, oh, you're just gonna pop a can into the roof. There's, like, a whole set of insulation and stuff still, because otherwise all your heat would be gone, and these would be terrible places to live. In The Sims, obviously, you can't angle can lighting like that. So, and when I say can lighting, I guess I should clarify. I don't know if that's like an all over the place thing. That's just what we've always called them. It's the lights where they look like a tin can almost. And they recess up into the ceiling, and it's just like a little dot of light. It's like a little, like, they're usually, I don't know, like 2 or 3 inch round lights. They're really cute. And they were very popular in the early 2000s. I really like them because they're just unassuming and they blow up a whole room with light. They're basically the saucer lights, right, that we have here. You just can't angle them in a roof. In real life, you can put a can into a roof. So here we're working on the porch. Same kind of vibe as the lofts, right? I figured the porch space, probably most likely not a workspace, right? Because it's an uncontrolled environment. If you're making content, you can't control what happens on your porch. So this is going to be just like a hangout area, a calmer area, a morning coffee and evening tea kind of area. Went with a couple of plants and some cozy sitting spaces. Nothing insane, because I didn't imagine the sim was probably going to want to maintain an outdoor space a lot, and because of the nature of how we're going to do the lot, there's going to be a lot of through traffic probably, and a fair amount of people, because, like, honestly, this one's probably a single sim, and the cottage core one probably, well, actually, that could be a couple. The other two could be couples, so you could have maybe as many as 5 sims easily on this lot, living here full time, which means it's a fairly busy lot, right? So while I did put some stuff out here, like a yoga mat and stuff, I did sort of, I was like, I mean, I don't know if I'd hang out here all the time. You have to have, like, a commitment to some level of social, and I think with any front porch, although where I live, it's all back porch. I've talked about this before, I think. I live in the country, and so the rule in the country, it's not written anywhere, it's just sort of a thing. The rule in the country is, like, solicitors come to the front porch, deliveries come to the front porch, front door, friends and family, visitors, anyone who's coming for, like, a social call, they come to the back door. I don't know, I don't make the rules. It is significantly harder to get to my back door than to my front door, but everyone walks around. Everyone comes in the back door, and it's the same at my aunt and uncle's house. Everyone goes through the garage. They have a beautiful, stately 1910s farmhouse. It's gorgeous. It's been in my family for over 100 years. The front door is phenomenal on this house, just beautiful, and it walks into a formal living room with a pocket door and a staircase that branches. Oh my god, it's gorgeous, right? Everyone comes to the garage door. Everyone goes to the garage door. My grandma's house is the same way. Everyone goes to the carport. I don't know. Actually, at my uncle's house, they just moved in too, and I have not gone through the front door. I don't know what the front of their house looks like. I pull into the alley. I do know what the front of the house looks like. But I pull into the alley and go to the back door. Not even joking. It's such a silly thing. The only time you go to the front door is if they don't have a back door. One of my cousins doesn't have a back door. So there you go. But yeah, it's kind of just it's a weird thing. I don't know where I was going with that, so you're welcome. This bathroom's kind of cool. This is, I think, the most different bathroom that I did. Because of this build taking as long as it did, or I say build, the builds, you see me using some of, like, the new stuff from the newer packs as these builds go on. I think it's kind of fun because it took me actually quite a while to, like, work on these. I started working on these shortly after For Rent came out, and now we have Love Struck, and soon, very soon, we'll have Life and Death. I'm very excited for Life and Death. Oh, I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be cool. And the funny thing is I'm not a big, like, I don't like to kill my Sims. I know, it's so weird. I don't love to kill my Sims, but I'm excited about the concept of, like, having something meaningful to the death of my Sims. And because I think that's what stopped me in the past, is like, I'm always like, I worked really hard on these and now they're just gonna disappear because there's pixels, you know? But now there's like reasons. I'm like excited for my elders to be, you know, like that. I think is really cool. I'm excited for it. I'm really, really jazzed. I know I glossed over the plants on the front porch. Look, if I was living someplace where it was sunny and growable weather all the time, like LA or Del Sol Valley, I would have pot plants on my front porch all the time. Am I exceptionally good at taking care of plants? Not great. Not bad. I can rescue them. I can keep them alive. I'm not super good at watering super consistently, so I tend to go for the plants that don't need a ton of it. Although I accidentally almost drowned our, I don't know what she is. We call her Bliss because she was at my parents' wedding. And so she's like now 32 years old. And she's always not needed a lot of water, but I took over watering her recently and I didn't know how much was not a lot of water. I was giving her too much water. She's chill now. We're going to fix it. But she was like, yo, I'm unhappy. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. That's valid. That's fair. That's completely understandable. So I had to fix Bliss. I don't know what she is though. She's one of those rare things where like, she's bloomed like once in the 28 years that I've known her. And I guess she's bloomed like twice in the 32 years my parents have known her. So she just chose her own vibe. But yeah, I struggle with plants a little bit. It depends. It's the water for me too. Like out here, I live on really hard water and I'm not used to that. And so it's hard to figure out what the plants want and need, you know? And you can't give them the filtered water, obviously. Like everyone goes, just give them the drinking water. No, that has salt in it, dude. That'll kill plants. Learned that one the hard way. But yeah, so I put a lot of plants on the front porch because I thought it would be fun for this sim to have plants. And again, just creates that cozy vibe that isn't super present in the downstairs, but is more present in the upstairs, right? And then of course I had to do a pink coffee maker, lots of pink accents, but you could change all of these like little pink and pastel blues out for anything you wanted. But anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna let you hang out and watch the rest of the screenshots. I am gonna go eat some dinner, I think. I'm pretty excited about that. I love this bathroom too. I kind of glossed over it, but the orange, kind of dope. Not something I usually do. Pretty proud of that one. Toot my own horn. But anyways, guys, I hope you're having a great day and you're feeling loved. And if you're not feeling loved, please know that I love you. I'm glad you exist. I'm glad you're here hanging out. You make the world a better place just by being you, and you make my day better when I get to talk to you. And next should be Minecraft, I think. And then I think I'm doing a base game next, maybe? And I'll fix that lamp since it's clipping. Don't worry about it. Okay, love you. Bye!